Hello and welcome to History of Dragon Ball. Today we are looking at more options for who the unexpected character in the newly announced Dragon Ball Super movie could be. So first of all, let's address the issue. You may have noticed a lack of videos over the last couple of weeks. Now, we had some behind the scenes issues related to our History of the Ages Tolkien channel that have all been sorted now, everything's been cleared up, so have no fear. Uploads will continue as before, so we can now get back into some awesome Dragon Ball content. Therefore, today I am doing a follow-up video to my last upload that I had planned to release a while ago now, but with there being no more news since that video, I still think it would be fun to release this now. So here is my part 2 to my thoughts on just who the unexpected character for the new Dragon Ball Super movie could be. Now, as I said before, this unexpected character could almost be anyone. And the last time I had a look at only the potential villains that could make their returns. However, in the comments of that video there were a few people making a particularly good point that it's not actually stated that this character would be a villain. There is obviously the chance that it could be one of the good guys instead. So, like last time again, I'm not going to go through every single option that there is out there, but here are some of the thoughts suggested by you guys with my thoughts on each of these of just who that unexpected character could be. So let's start off with a character that I would quite enjoy seeing more of, but I just do not see it happening anytime soon, and that is Oob. Now, I know there are many people out there who are not a fan of Dragon Ball GT at all, and while it does have its weaknesses as a series, it also has some good points too, and to me, one of those was Oob. He may not have been the most useful character in terms of story, but especially after fusing with Buu, I thought there was really a lot of untapped potential to him, so bringing him back could just be very interesting for the story. That being said, we do need to remember though that Oob has been shown in the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc in the manga, where he lends his energy to Goku. So, with Moro not actually being released in the anime yet, this does go against Oob being this unexpected character. Nonetheless, hopefully we are approaching his meeting with Goku soon. It just brings up again that ever-looming issue with Super in that we know Oob meets Goku later than the events that we've met so far, so it really just does decrease a bit of the tension that we ever get. We know that we are going to need to get past at least Moro and Granola now before the time that he comes into things. So unless they do a random time jump and then jump back or something, I just cannot see this one happening. Next, we look at the option of the original Super Saiyan God, Yumoshi. I already have a video on the channel looking at just who he was, so I won't go into that much detail on that here, so check out that video if you want to know more, but I thought he was still worth a mention in this video. The thing with Yumoshi is that he lived so long ago in terms of where we are in the story, I believe that they would really struggle to bring him back into things in any sensible way. There haven't been any signs so far that there could be any spin-off movies as opposed to movies focused on our normal heroes, so again that does make it harder to realistically think this one could be true. Now saying that, knowing Dragon Ball it does not mean that it is not possible though. When you have several different sets of Dragon Balls that can grant all these different kinds of wishes, realistically just anything you could imagine, then there is always a chance, but like Oob, I just don't see this one being likely either. Moving on, we have a character that only ever appears in the filler of Z and one of the movies, and that is Peacock. Now Peacock was introduced to us as what appeared to be a knockoff Piccolo for Goku to fight in the Otherworld tournament, but despite his limited appearances, there is somewhat of a decent following for this character. It would only take it for there to be some kind of issue to arise in Otherworld to make it possible to bring him into things. So if they wanted to make this movie a lot more of a one-off that does not affect the bigger story overall as one of those type of movies, then he could definitely be an interesting character to bring back into things. When everything is over, he could just be left in Otherworld and no one would need to wonder why he did not appear again. But, like I just said, it would have to be a self-contained story for this to really work. Now to go to the other end of things, of not having to be a self-contained movie, there is always the option of a Broly 2 movie. After all, originally Broly did have a trilogy and it was never been ruled out that this could happen again. Broly is such a powerful character. I mean, he reached the level of the gods with no real training in under an hour of fighting. This could be why that they're actually reluctant to bring him into the main story, as he might make defeating enemies a bit too easy with that kind of potential, but he is still so popular as a character, so rather than forget about him, just bring him back for another movie. You could introduce some new disposable villain, some alien somewhere, not necessarily an important one, that in some way creates a need for our heroes to ask Broly for help. However, my full idea for Broly involves other characters, so I will bring things back to him in a moment. Which then, of course, leads me to my next idea, and that is the return of or introduction of an old Saiyan, and I will group these together for this idea, and this could be one of Bardock, Raditz, or Cumber. So to start off, there is a way that I believe you could bring both Bardock and Raditz back together, and that involves bringing in the idea of the Time Patrol. I very much enjoyed the Xenoverse games, and the idea of the Masked Saiyan is one that I would like to see in the anime, so why not a movie? It could mean the return of Trunks as well in his Time Patroller role. Whether they go down the same path of having the likes of Toa or Mira as the evil beings behind things, or introducing some new character, that's completely up to them, but either way they could bring back these two Masked Saiyans of Bardock and Raditz. And that means our heroes now need to defeat them. So with the power boost that these two Saiyans would obviously have had to have, this could be where they then need to ask assistance from Broly. Or another idea is that Goku and co managed to free Bardock and Raditz from their masks, and all the Saiyans must then team up together to take on the time manipulating villains. You could even add King Vegeta into this to bring back the families of both Goku and Vegeta, if they really wanted to reintroduce more characters as well. Realistically, when you start playing with the whole idea of time travel and manipulation, you start opening so many potential doors to, well, whatever stories and scenarios that you want. And also, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about mentioning Cumber either. I just feel that a similar story would work having Cumber as the Masked Saiyan if you just take out the family aspect from this potential narrative. Either way, you have to think the idea of Goku's ex-family coming back is always an interesting idea, and Raditz was brought in and got rid of so quick, seeing him come back would be really interesting as well. I just feel that this idea with Goku having to deal with his Saiyan past is something that could really just help develop him as a character and maybe take him away slightly from this over-kiddie personality that he has developed more in Super. Then there is one more potential I would like to mention today, as, like I said, I do not want to go through every single option that is out there, but just some of the most popular theories at the moment. And so, this last one is the return of the Universe 6 Saiyans. Now remember back to the Tournament of Power. Vegeta promised to save Cabba and his universe because he wanted to meet the ruler of Cabba's world, who Cabba claimed reminded him of Vegeta. I really do feel like this is hinting at some kind of narrative where it's almost like Vegeta sees his alternate reality of what could have been if he had become king. There's likely to be an inner struggle within him wondering whether to go back and stay with the Universe 6's Saiyans, or whether he should actually return home and be with his family. I mean, you could be fairly sure that Vegeta would just end up back home, but it could be a good moment for Vegeta in terms of his character and seeing again how far he has come since he first fought Goku. And perhaps in general, this is just something a little bit different to what we've seen before from a Dragon Ball movie, so again, this could just make things a bit more interesting. So there we have it, a quick look at some more options of who this unexpected character could possibly be, with this time looking at not just straight up villains, but a mixture of some good guys too. Last time we had gone through the options of Cooler, Sal, Omega Shenron and Lord Slug, with today us looking at Oob, Peacock, Broly, Bardock, Raditz, Cumber, Future Trunks, and the Universe 6 Saiyans. These are so many options that we've covered, but that definitely doesn't cover them all. There are still so many out there that could just potentially give us an epic movie. And now that I have finished, I hope you enjoyed this video. And this actually leads me to my question for you today, which is, out of all the options that I have been through, which would be your preference that the unexpected character really was? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this question in the comments below. Or even, if I have still missed out completely someone that you think should be that character, let me know that as well in the comments below too. So, now that we are at the end of this video, I would ask if you are enjoying the content here, now that I am back once again, please subscribe to the channel, as it feels so great to be making content here once more. And I will leave you with a massive thank you if you have managed to reach the end of this video with me, and I will see you next time on History of Dragon Ball.